Hey everybody, it's Sam with Vibeworks Guitars, and today we are going to work on wiring our VW105 Jaguar offset style guitar kit. This kit has two P90 soapbar style pickups, three-way switch, single volume, single tone, and yeah, we'll get at it. This would apply to this guitar, but also any guitar that has that same configuration: two pickup, three-way switch, single volume, single tone. And then our output jack, of course, too. So the first thing, what I like to do on this model is I'll mount the pick guard and mount my pickups in place. And that way they're not flopping around while I'm working on everything else. And I put all the hardware in the pick guard. We'll just wire it right inside the pick guard. Once we're done, flop it on, secure it, and we're good to go. So the first thing I've done is I've prepped the volume pot and the tone pot. And the volume pot, as you can see on if we're looking at the lugs numbered 1, 2, 3 across, this first one, the left one, we ground to the back of the pot. And also did on that same number lug on the tone, we put the tone capacitor between that lug and the back of the pot. That's going to act as our ground, to ground out that tone capacitor. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by wiring the pickups to the three-way switch. And on this three-way switch, we have one lug for our ground. We have a lug on each side for each of the hot wires from each pickup. And then the center lugs that are joined together, that's going to be our output. And the way the switch works, if you have it in one position, one pickup, other position, the other pickup, middle position, both pickups. So we'll start by wiring that. On each pickup, you'll notice we have a bare wire. That's going to be our ground. And then we have a shielded wire. We're going to strip it back a little bit more of this wire, and that's going to be our hot wire that we'll wire to each one of these lugs. So we'll start by taking care of that. One question we get sometimes is which pickup goes to which side. On this, it doesn't matter. If once you're done with the guitar, if you don't like the way the switch is positioned, if you're like, that should be neck and that should be bridge, but it's opposite, just unscrew this and flip your switch around and you're good to go. So I think I'll start by wiring both of the ground wires to this back side of the switch. There we go. So now you'll see the hot wire from each pickup goes to one side. The ground wires together come over to this ground. And one thing we'll have to remember, besides wiring the output of this, we need to wire the ground. All the grounds for every component need to be connected to each other in one way or another. So we'll work on that. Let's do that now, actually. The kit comes with some wire. Colors are irrelevant. The wires and the colors in the kits will vary depending on what wire the factory had on hand that day. So we'll start by doing our ground. I'm going to use this gray. Also, some people are concerned with the thin gauge of this wire and ask if you can use heavier. Yep, you can. This will work. It does make for some fragile connections because the wire is so thin. I don't believe there's any tonal difference, but everybody has their preferences and opinions, and that's totally fine. Do a better connection on this switch ground. And then we'll just, I already put a pool of solder on the back of this pot, but if you don't, a nice pool is helpful because we'll use it a couple times for some different grounding points. So now we've got the ground, we're going to run the hot wire from these two middle posts of the switch to the furthest right lug if we're looking at the back of the volume pot. And that's also, there's going to be another wire that comes from that same lug to the middle lug of the tone to send that signal over to the tone pot. It's nice when you have two wires connecting to the same lug just to do them both at the same time. That way you're not unsoldering one while you're soldering the other one. And I'm going to tin some of these points. Oh, and they came unsoldered just like I said we didn't want to happen, but it did. That's okay. We'll get this on. Okay, and then this little guy comes from that same first lug to the middle of the tone. So now we've got signal from our pickups through the switch to our volume and to our tone. Let's add a little ground wire going from the volume pot to the tone pot so we can continue our ground signal without forgetting anything. And the grounds just go to the back of the pots. So again, we'll go to this puddle on the back of this pot, to the puddle on the back of that pot. Done. Okay, so now, hopefully you can see that okay. This white wire is coming to this first lug, then going to the middle lug on the tone. And the ground wire comes from this ground lug on the switch, the back of this pot to the back of that pot. Now we just have a couple more connections to make. The output from the volume pot to the jack. Now one tip on this, if you're confused about which one is the ground and which one is the hot on your jack, this spring that connects to the tip of your guitar cable, that's going to be your hot. You can see this other lug is the barrel. So that's your ground. This one, if you look underneath the plastic, that comes around to this point. So this will be our hot and this is our ground. So I'm going to keep with my theme of using gray for grounds because I didn't have enough black. Maybe I did, but I used gray. And we will do the ground. Grounds can come from anywhere. We'll use the tone pot just because it's closest. But in other guitar wiring configurations, if a volume pot's closer, if your switch is closer, that's fine too. That all works. There's our ground. Now we'll do our hot, continuing with our same theme. If we have enough white. Oh yeah, we'll get there. We'll use white for our hot. And this one comes from the middle lug of the volume. And then our terminal that connects to the tip. Okay, now it might look done, but we've got one more ground to worry about. And this one, whenever I get customer service questions about buzz or hum, it's usually because this ground is forgotten. There's a ground on the bridge, and different guitars will do it different ways. A Stratocaster style has it down on the back on the tremolo and the claw. This one grounds in this post hole for the Tune-o-matic style bridge. There was a hole that's drilled from that post hole into this control cavity. Now, when I installed this, I already ran that wire, stripped off some wire, and made sure it made contact. You don't solder, you don't screw, it just sandwiches between the wood and the metal post. And what that does is it gives our ground, once we connect this wire to our ground circuit, it will ground all the electronics through here, through the strings, through our fingers. So I will strip back some of this. I like to leave this one till last just because it's going to be harder to maneuver the pick guard around once this is soldered in place. And again, like before, this can go in any of the ground spots. Where it comes out, it's right where the tone pod is. So I am just going to add it to the back of our tone pot here. Done. This is now ready to go. So we'll carefully tuck all the wires away. And, you know, some of these pickup wires, we probably could have trimmed some of that off. That would have made for a cleaner process getting this put in, but we can just loop those up. There we go. So now this is ready to test. One thing you can do before you string it up, I always recommend plug it in, plug it to your amp, and then touch the pickup posts with anything metal, a screwdriver. I mean, you'll even feel the magnet pulling on your whatever you're tapping. You'll hear a loud thud. Test both of them, test the switch. A lot easier to fix anything that may have gone wrong now than to fix it once you've got strings on and the pick guard screwed down. So I always recommend doing that. But that's it. That's how you wire a 2 pickup, 3-way switch, single volume, single tone guitar kit like our VW105 offset guitar from Vibeworks Guitars.